haven't really used one yet.
Love them.
I think they're good. I've used graphite a few times.
Got one in Tuxedo when I was in the US. They're legal over there, I guess, on court for matches and tournaments and stuff.
I think any modification that can bring the game forward is a good thing. I would personally definitely use one. I've used them and I think they hit the ball really well.
Tried that out. Best tennis I've played was with a graphite racket. We had a really good match, and so I'm, all right, I'll play with it again. Next match, played just as well.
I've played with a graphite racket. I thought it was a little bit unusual and a little bit different compared to a wooden graze racket that I currently use.
Back in the UK and now back to France, and haven't used it since.
But I wouldn't necessarily say it was worse or better particularly. It was just slightly different.
I think it's a cool concept. I'm all about modernising the sport and trying to progress things on, as I think it's really important to keep the game going.
I think one of the attractive things about real tennis is its quirkiness, and having wood rackets kind of adds to that.
But having said that, I think sports like cricket, baseball, they've all came into this graphite coming in, and people have said, yeah, we understand, but we are a wooden sport. And I think that maybe should be a tradition that we stick to.
From a personal perspective, I know the game struggles with kind of being modern, but my view on that is I think the game's historical character is one of the most beautiful things about it.
Harrow, if they pull out, where do we go then? What happens to the factories? Tennis elbow, can you hit the ball harder? If you can, that's really dangerous. There's lots of unanswered questions.
It's great just to have another option out there.
I think it's great that we have another maker, in the game.
And I just think if it's not broken, don't fix it. And Greys have been so good to the game for years and years that I think we should pay a bit of respect to them and honour their traditions and stick to wooden rackets personally.
If Greys would ever stop making them, it's important to have someone else. But no, I think competition's a good thing.
I think they're great for really all abilities. Like, they're going to last a long time, especially for people that find the wooden racket a bit heavy, difficult to use, and we don't want to lose people playing because it's too difficult. And we're like, well, you can use this graphite racket. So for that, I think it's great.
I could probably get through a racket every 2 months maybe. So it's expensive as it is, and it's maybe a bit of a stumbling block for new players and members once you tell them it's going to be best part of 300 quid for a racket or 200 quid for the basic rackets.
I think if it's good for the game, so if it's price wise makes the game more affordable, then I think that's probably a good thing. It means more people can be playing.
So maybe if it's cheaper and they last longer, that could be a good thing for the game.
But again, if it was something that going forward really helped the game move forward, then I couldn't possibly be against it. But no strong opinion one way or the other, to be honest.
I actually don't have a problem with graphite rackets coming into the game, as long as they're kind of legislated for the right way and it doesn't kind of just go down a trajectory that the game doesn't want to go in. Then I'm happy for them to be used.
If they can do more tests, sort of make sure they're legal for competitive play, I think that's a great thing. And looking forward to seeing how the UK Association deals with that.
When we speed tested them, they seemed like they had a good balance compared to everything else. So I'm happy with that.
I'm not sure there's tons of evidence for that yet either. So I think we've still got a lot to learn about it. And people talk about potential injuries and this sort of thing. Until we've got a bit more data on that, I think it's tough to say.
And I think durability is pretty similar to wooden. But I think in the sport of rackets, it could be game changing, because I've seen them last a lot longer than the wooden ones, and the cost of those rackets.
Personally, I think over time I prefer the wood just for the feel, but I don't think they play really any differently, and they do last a lot longer. So I guess it comes down to what someone looking for in a racket.
Can't wait to crack out the graphite again.